Hello guys, Bear Dasher back, and today, in this video, we're going to be trying to make a Halloween combos from these parts. But right before we get started, please hit that like button and subscribe. Click the notification bell if you want to see my next video come up. And tell me down in the comments down below what other videos I should do next. But other than that, we'll start. So we have layers right here, tips right here, and discs back here. So we'll start with performance tips that we will not be using. Sadly, we'll be not using the extreme driver just because almost none of these layers are good with attack types. Next will be atomic. This one is outclassed but has these both. The reason why I chose them because I thought they had like a Halloween vibe to it. Next, we have Kick. I just think it's too yellow. I thought it was like a jack-o'-lantern kind of yellow, but it's not. And next, we have just normal internal. This one's way too low, unlike DB stuff. Then we have the normal Extend Plus driver, but with Greatest Raphael's Extend Plus chip on it. I thought it had colors on it, but it's too low. Next will be one of my least favorite drivers in Burst in general, Fusion Dash. So this one, it's just a bad driver in general, and I chose it because I thought it had Halloween colors in it. And we're not going to be using the Trick driver just because it's unpredictable. And it's not really the best driver in the world. Next, we won't be using Generate because it's all-in-one for the driver. That means it's fused with the disc and driver, so it's just one thing. So they just snap in together like that. So that won't work. And the final driver we will not be using is Friction because it's not really my favorite defense driver, but when it accelerates, it's really fun to use. But sometimes not fun. So the drivers we'll probably be using is Revolve, not Revolve Dash. We're just using the Revolve driver, the red recolor. Then we'll be using the recolor of Rise. We'll be using the orange Rise. And we'll be using the Moment driver for more Bahamut. So, yeah, these might be the drivers we'll be using. Now we're going to do the same thing, but with the discs. We're not going to be using Zenith. It's mostly just because they are outclassed by everything. We won't be using Sting. We won't be using Blitz, even though Blitz and Sting is really good. We won't be using the normal Nexus. Even though it's DB, it's not really the best on its own. We won't be using this wall frame with any of the discs. We won't be using 00. We won't be using 0. We won't be using Outer or Vanguard. You will not be using Around, Vanguard, and Zenith all had red on it, so I thought that was kind of cool Halloween theme. And the wall frame had black, so I thought that was kind of Halloween-y. But again, they're outclassed, and we're not going to be using the 7-disc. We're not going to be using the Hasbro wheel disc. And yeah, these are most likely the discs we are going to be using. We might be using Nexus plus S. we might be using Giga. We might be using Fortress. Or we might be using Over. So now, the layer stuff, we won't be using this GT one just because it's outclassed, even though it's very round and is orange like a pumpkin. We won't be using it. But there's cores and armors in here, so we'll be taking the stuff that we'll need and don't need. So first, let's take these apart. Now first, we're gonna put our parts off to the side over here, and we'll be using them later. Okay, we're just gonna be focusing on this. So we won't be using the Spriggan core. It has too much red, gold, and blue. It's more Christmassy look, so we won't be using that. We will not be using the 2 armor from Ragnarok right here. We won't be using that. And even though there's some red in it, it has some more gold in it. But at the same time, it might look kind of good with this. We might be using this, actually. Just the jack-o'-lantern look, and it has like red and orange in it. So that's why. So we might be using this, but we're not using the 2 armor. We might not be using this. We might be using the Cyclone. We're gonna be using Roar, just because you can see it looks Halloween-y. So we'll just keep the layer itself. And Roar Fafnir. Since we already have a Roar, we'll just be taking the 2 armor right here, because it has like orange pieces on here. So in the Fafnir core, if you see it closely, it is very worn down. You can't see it, but with close eye look, you can see it's kind of worn down. You probably can't see it, but I checked and it's worn down. So we won't be using that. Or this. So yeah, these might be the parts we'll be using. So we'll be taking Astral. Actually, we won't be using the 0 armor because it has blue on it. So we'll be using Right Astral with the 2 armor, and we'll be using the Cyclone core right there. So this is our layer, Astral Ragnarok 2. So far, it looks really cool. And apparently we won't be using Cyclone. Actually, I want to take this back out. I want to try something. Because there's this cool thing I saw on YouTube. If you flip this upside down, it can actually fit on your Nexus disc, like an S gear. Whereas I think it's like that. Something like this. It's weird, but nah, we won't be using it. It's too wacko. But yeah, these are gonna be the layers we'll be using. And now we're gonna figure out the discs. We're definitely gonna be using this because of the red it has. And it's gonna go really good with the Astral. Right here, we'll be using Bahamut. Since we have the Bahamut layer, we don't want to make it stock combo. So we won't be using moment right now. But actually, it doesn't really look good with any of the tips, but we'll figure something out. Actually, let's take atomic back out, and we'll use this tip. And then we'll be using, let's see. We have the over disc, the giga disc, and the fortress disc. In my opinion, I think we should be using over, just because it's better than all the others. And we'll be using the atomic driver. So this is our first Halloween combo, and it is Roar Bahamut over Atomic 10. So that's our first combo. And then it's one of these drivers right here. So we'll just be using Revolve just because both of these drivers, even though they're really good in opposite spin, they're not really good with same spin. So we won't be using that. So now our second combo will be Astral Ragnarok, Nexus plus S, Revolve, and it's in right spin. So I'll tell you the reasons why I chose these. For Bahamut, I chose the whole layer because I thought the black, the purple and stuff looked really good. Chose the over disc because it was really good. And the atomic driver I thought went really well with it. Because if we just went with the moment driver, even though it looked better, it would just be almost stock combo. And then I chose this because, so I chose this because it has like orange accents on the armor, and I chose the right side because of the black and red it has. I chose the Ragnarok core because I like how it looks like almost like the light from a jack-o'-lantern and the red in it. So that's why I chose it. The Nexus plus S, I chose it because of the red on it. And same for Revolve. I chose it because of the red on it, and it's better at same spin than Rise. So yeah, that's why I chose this. But, yeah, these are the combos. But, yeah, I guess that'll wrap up this video. So if you liked this video, please like and subscribe. Click the notification bell if you want to see my next video come up. And tell me down in the comments down below what other videos I should do next. But I'll be making a part 2 for tomorrow, because tomorrow is Halloween, and I thought it would be nice to put 2 Halloween combos up against each other tomorrow, because it's Halloween. So, other than that, please like and subscribe, but other than that, Blader Dasher, out.